Good morning, student. BA second year, semester third, English compulsory. So, module third and part second, whitewashing the fins. This is a short story by Mark Twain. In our previous lecture, we also study about the author Mark Twain and also studied uh, the story and learned that Tom was a boy, he was the protagonist, and Tom was not in a mood to enjoy it as he was given the task of painting the fins. And Tom was the bright and energetic boy, create a team of willing painters to whitewash the fins and thus turn a dreary and lonely task into an enjoyable one. So, uh, Tom uh, he applied to, the very sight of the 13-yard long and 9 feet tall wooden fence whipped away all his enthusiasm as he appeared on the site with a long handled brush and whitewash. He applied the fourth brush to the fence and inspected the impact. So Tom hated the work like anything, but today it looked attractive because it was a good time pass. So he offered Jim to fetch the water if he would whitewash the fence. When Tom offered him a white alley, his determinations began to waver and finally he agreed to paint the fins. But that did not materialize because Aunt Polly arrived and waked him with her slipper. He ran away and Tom got busy with his job. So, what about that next? Today we will going to learn. Jim was only human. This attraction was too much for him. He put down his pail, took Jim was only human. This attraction was too much for him. He put down his pail, took the white alley, and bent over the toy with absorbing interest while the bandage was being unwound. In another moment, he was flying down the street with his pail and a tingling rear. Tom was whitewashing with vigor. Vigor means energetic, and Aunt Polly was retiring from the field with a slipper in her hand and trump in her eye. But Tom's energy did not last. He began to think of the fun he had planned for this day, and his sorrows multiplied. Soon the free boys would come tripping along on all sorts of delicious expeditions, and they would make a world of a fun of him for having to work. The very thought of it burnt him like a fire. He got out his worldly wealth and examined it. Bits of toys, marbles, and trash, enough to buy an exchange of work, maybe, but not half enough to buy so much as half an hour of pure freedom. So he returned his straitened means to his pocket and gave up the idea of trying to buy the boys. At this dark and hopeless moment, as inspirations burst upon him, nothing less than a great, magnificent inspirations. So he took up his brush and went tranquilly. Tranquilly means here is a meaning is a peacefully, silently. Is it clear? To work. Ben Rogers Ho inside presently. The very boy of all boys whose ridicule he had been dreading. Ben's skate was the hop, skip, and jump. That is a game of kids. Hop, skip, and jump. Proof enough that his heart was light and his anticipations high. He was eating an apple and giving a long, melodious whoop at intervals, followed by a deep toned ding dong dong, ding dong dong, for he was personating an steamboat. As he drove near, he slackened speed, took the middle of the street, leaned for leaned far over to starboard and rounded to ponderously and with laborious pomp and circumstance, for he was personating the big measure and considered himself to be drawing 9 feet of water. He was boat and captain and engine bell combined, so he had to imagine himself standing on his own hurricane deck, giving here hurricane deck means a covered deck at or near the top of a ship's superstructure, giving the orders and executing them. Stop her, sir, ting a ling ling. The headway ran almost out, and he drew up slowly towards the sidewalk. Sheep up to back, ting a ling ling, his arms straightened and stiffened down his sides. Set her back on the starboard, ting ling ling, cho cho cho, cho. His right hand, meantime, describing steadily. Here, starboard means right side of the ship or turn to the right side of this ship. Is it clear? Is it clear? So next one in the his right hand meantime describing stately circles, for it was representing a 40-foot wheel. Let her go back on larboard. Larboard here, larboard means here starboard and larboard. Larboard means turn left to the ships, turn left side to the ship. The tingling ling cho cho cho. The left hand began to describe circles. Stop the starboard, tingling ling. Stop the larboard. Came ahead on the starboard. Stop her. Let your outside turn over slow. Tingling ling cho so so. Get out that headline. Lively now. Came out with your spring line. What are you about there? Take a turn round that stump with a bite. Bite means bay. It is bay of it. Stand by that stage. Now let her go. Done with the engines, sir. Tingling. Shuts. Trying to gauge back. Cocks. Gauge cocks. Tom went on whitewashing, paid no attention to the steamboat. Ben stared a moment and then said, Hi, you are you are up a stump, aren't you? So, no answer. Tom surveyed his last touch with the eye of an artist. Then he gave his brush another gentle sweep and surveyed the result as before. Ben dragged up alongside of him. Tom's mouth watered for the apple, but he stuck to his work. Ben said, Hello, old chap. You got to work here? Tom wheeled suddenly and said, Why, it is you, Ben. I wasn't noticing. Say I am going in a swimming. I am. Don't you wish you could? But of course, you had work, truth, truther work, wouldn't you? Course you would. Tom contemplated. Contemplated means observer. Tom observed that the boy a bit and said, "What do you call work? Why ain't that work?" Tom resumed his whitewashing and answered carelessly, "Well, maybe it is, and maybe it ain't. All I know is it suits Tom Sawyer." "Oh, Cam, now you don't mean to let on that you like it." The brush continued to move like it. "Well, I don't see why I oughtn't to like it. Does a boy get a chance to whitewash a fence every day? That put the thing in a new light." Ben stopped nibbling. Nibbling, it is a piece of apples or small bite. His apple. Tom swept his brush gently, gently back. Gently means here a delicately, beautifully, gently back and forth stepped back to note the effect. Added a touch here and there, criticized the effect again. Ben watching every move and getting more and more interested, more and more absorbed. Presently he said Tom, let me whitewash a little. So here we study, we here we'll learn the story about second part of the story, the this story, the whitewashing the fins by Mark Twain. We will study the next part in our next lecture. Thank you.